What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Slasher here. Today we're going to take a look at a deck profile of blue. Yes, we're visiting blue again. Now, what is something that can compete very well? Kind of misses out to like Android 21 a little, and a little bit of Gamma, but is still very, very good. I think that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the best option. Here is the list. So, we have the leader itself. You can only place up to 6 energies in total, and when you attack with your leader, so hopefully on turn 1, if you start second, you attack with your leader, you choose one card in your hand, you place it at the bottom of your deck, you add a card from your life, and then you place it into your energy and rest mode. And that will help you self-awaken to get to 4 quickly. You have a lot of defense in this deck, so you never have to worry about if you're sitting at 3 lives that you're just going to get hit for a triple strike and lose. You have a lot of defense in this deck. And yeah, this is the awakened side. You can place up to 6 energy once again. When this card attacks, you draw 1. Your leader gets plus 5k for the turn, which is very good. At the end of your turn, you restand 3 of your energy to active mode. So, because of that, we are running 4 Vegeta Ready to Rumbles. You pay 4, negate the attack, play this card. When this card is played, your opponent can't attack for the turn unless they place 1 of their energy and their drop. So that's very brutal against them as well. We've got our 3 Sensu Beans that can just help you restand for your 4th one if you need to. We use the Beerus. That will be more of a defensive card. This card will allow you to draw an extra card and outboost by 10k and get rid of cards that are 2 or less. Or if you do it during your turn, you can get rid of cards with a high energy cost. Then, of course, we've got the one of Unison for the deck. It's a very, very good card. I think we all know it by now. If you see this, try to play it as soon as possible. When you get this set up, you're in the lead. That's for sure. We have the Chilled Army Reinforcements, only 2 copies, because we have a lot of other better defensive cards, but this is still very good as well. Can help you self-awaken if you're sitting at 5, and it's your defensive step. Then we have the Son Goku, Another World Blitz. Now, this card carries the deck, and if you have no battle cards in your drop, you can pay 4, you play this, and this card just does wonders for you. Triple Strike, Barrier, Blocker, Deflect, 30k. At the end of your turn, switch an energy to active mode and this card to active mode. So then you'll have your 4 inactive, which means you can play your Vegeta Ready to Rumbles just straight away. Though be careful for counterplays. That's why we are running the God Slicing Black Kamehameha. You can either get rid of 2 cards in your hand and counter the counter battle card that they're going to play. And if it's 4 or less, yeah, they place it at the bottom of the deck and you get to draw a card off this. Or you can just pay 2 energy. So yeah, it's a very good card. I mean, there are other choices as well out there, but I do think for the way this deck is built, this is a better choice. I mean, earlier game, you don't have much cards in your hand, so that's why we've built it more around trying to keep some cards in your hand. But this is still a better option because 4 or less is going to stop things like, yeah, Ready to Rumble. Also, the 4-cost Android counterplay. And there are many others as well out there that it can slow down. And then, of course, we got the Hachiyak for the counter, for the ultimate for the deck. Probably the best choice. I mean, you can run the Beast Gohan, and that one would allow you to restand either your World Blitz or your Z Battle card, the Vegito. But I do think more of a solid defense is a better offense for this deck. And then we've got our 2 Baby Golden Avengers. You're going to hard play this for your counter. And then you're going to swing for game. That's the whole point of that card. We've got our 1 of Dirty Bursts. That will just slow down any of your opponent trying to play their boss monsters to win the game. It's just going to stop them from attacking. Then you've got your Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You'll be playing this to draw 4 cards, which is just bonkers to do. So you would want to be playing this probably around either turn 4 or turn 5, and then you're just going to refuel your entire hand, and then you can just defend the next turn, which is very easy to do. We're doing 2 and 2 for our super combos. We've got our 2 Vegetas, just so we can cycle cards in our deck if we need to. And we've got the Zenos, so we can restand energies during our opponent's turn. You can also just boost with this earlier if you need to. Then we've got our Dimension Magics. You're going to use these as early as possible. Just a great card. I think we know it by now. We've got our Calamity Challenges. And because we're ramping our energy so quickly, by turn 2, you can already play one of these and then draw 1 card. So you keep some cards in your hand, and you've got yourself a 15k blocker if you need to. Then we've got 3 of Piccolos. These are Deflect, Dual Attack, Barriers. Fantastic card. It's going to be a lot of aggression for you. It's going to help you either clear cards from their field or just keep some aggression going so that you're not sitting at 4 lives and they're sitting at like 7. And then we've got our Defending Friends. This is a replacement for a more expensive version compared to the Gohan, Baby's Minion. This card, of course, becomes a 25k single hit, and then it will just be stuck in rest mode. But the fact that this is cheaper as a cost in total, and it just performs better in a way, I think this is a better choice. It's gonna, because it's only 1 energy, it allows you then to be able to use other cards for defense, and if you get counterplayed, you still can just, do a different card if you need to. And then we've got our Rosés. Because it has Activate Battle, we are able to, if we have 3 or more Z energy, which is going to be very easy to do with this deck, you can play this during even your opponent's turn and then get rid of their card that's 4 or less, and you draw a card. So that's more cards in your hand, which is good. Then we have our Son Goku and Oob. This card is fantastic. I think it's highly underrated, and people are sleeping on it. If you have 3 or more energy, you pay 1, you play this card. It's going to be a 15k dual attack, deflect, and then you choose one of their cards with an energy cost of 5 or less, and they have to bottom deck it. Oh no, return to its owner's hand, my bad. And then you get to go top 5 and search for an Earthling or World Tournament. And yeah, I mean, do we have any Earthlings or World Tournaments? I believe we don't really, but that doesn't really matter. That's not the concern. It's more of for 1 energy what you're able to do with it. You can always side this as well for if you want some heavier aggression, you can. But I do think this is a good little tech for the deck. And then, of course, the unison of choice. We have Android 17 and 18 teaming up. The reason being is because when you play this card, if you're, let's say you're wanting to play another World Blitz, you can pay 4 if you have no cards, battle cards in your drop. So having this unison will allow you to get rid of the battle cards from your drop and help you charge them in your Z energy. That way you can play your Defending Friends and Mortals Be Gone very quickly. They'll be set up and ready to go. And of course it's got good defense because you can choose one of your cards. You get to boost with the card from your drop and you get plus 5k. And then of course the -4, 10k power and dual attack for the turn. So it'll be 25k dual attack. Very solid. Then for Z deck we have 2 Beerus. This is just going to be to get rid of cards ignoring barrier. We have the 2 Vegetas. You can self-awaken. We have the Cells. You can just blow up their field. And of course you can get triple strike from this if you place 4 or more cards from under this card in the drop. And then the 1 of Godly Spirit Vegeto. This is a very solid card. If you're not seeing a blitz or you've lost them all, this is a great replacement for it. And they will have to get rid of 1 card from their hand. And I think it's placed at the bottom of their owner's deck. And yeah, this card is just fantastic. And switch this card to active mode at the end of your turn. And then, yeah, as we said, replacements. We have the Son Gohan. This is just a cheaper option if you don't want to buy the Defending Friends. This is still a good way to play it as well. Then we have, for unisons, you could change. If you want something that's more control, then you could go with this. But it's just a heavy condition to play to do all 5 energy for this. But it is a very good card. You can get rid of cards ignoring barrier. You can cycle your deck and draw a little from it. And you can slow down your opponent's damage to you next turn. Then we've also got the babies. This would just allow you to use your counter a lot quicker because you can, instead of paying the energy cost, I think it's you just discard a card from your hand. Yeah, choosing 2 cards in your hand and discarding them. And then, of course, it's also a draw support, and it's a 15k beat stick. So, this is the deck. And I would say for turns 1, 2, and 3, I'd say turn 1, just charge with your leader, bottom deck a card from your hand, charge the energy from your life. And then defensive, just use your Barris Realm of Gods cards, your super combos if you really need to, or your Dimension Magics if you can. If that's there, that's probably the best choice. And turn 2, use your Z Battle card Vegeta if you need to try and awaken. You want to try to awaken on turn 2 as soon as possible. There are cards you can always play, like the Rose, the Goku, your Unisons. That way you can keep some cards in your hand. And then on turn 3, you play your Son Goku Blitz, and just try and be as aggressive as possible. And for closing games, like I said, you have your Baby Golden Avenger. You have, your Vegeta, 30k. You're going to draw 4 off that. That gives you enough cards to boost with, for sure. And, of course, I'll put the tips somewhere here so you can check them out quickly. And if you haven't subscribed already, do so. That'd be great. It helps me out. And thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. If you don't, you don't. Thanks for watching. Peace. Links to the deck will be in the video description.